Hello, my name is Gwen Hood, and this is my informative speech from Mrs. Stacy Dukes, Business Communication class at Bryan College. I've worked in the credit union industry for over 20 years. I've seen several things change during this time, from all the technology advancements to the real estate market crash that caused a lot of credit unions, small and large, to have serious financial problems. I'd like to share my work world with you, and to do this, I need to give you a little history and background on the credit unions in general so that you might understand why I think so much of my job. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines a credit union as a credit cooperative formed by a group of people with some common bond who, in effect, save their money together and make low-cost loans to each other. From the Credit Union Difference website, I found that the first credit unions sprang up in the early 19th century in England, but the credit unions that we are more familiar with started growing in Germany in the mid-1800s. These credit unions were democratically governed. Each member had one vote, no matter the size of their deposit. There is a member-elected board of directors, and they're all volunteers. The German credit unions were established to help the German farmers purchase livestock and other things they would need for their farms. The concept of credit unions across the Atlantic came in around the early 20th century. In 1909, a group of Franco-American Catholics from Manchester, New Hampshire organized the St. Mary's Cooperative Credit Association. Organizers of the credit union formed the credit union because they realized that outrageous interest rates were being charged by loan sharks, and they wanted to organize something that would provide some relief for the working class. This became the first credit union in the United States. Through the years, other credit unions started springing up across the nation, and in the 1920s, when the economy started to show an upswing, the credit union movement became increasingly popular. People had more money to save and were wanting to make some large purchases for the time. For the people of this time, a washing machine was a large purchase. At the time, commercial banks and savings institutions were not really interested in offering consumer credit, so it caused the credit union movement to grow even more. According to the NCUA website, around the 1930s there were approximately 1,100 credit unions across the United States. There were different state laws that governed the credit unions, but in 1934, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt signed the Federal Credit Union Act into law. This act created a national system to charter and to supervise federal credit unions. Credit unions grew steadily through the 40s and 50s, and by the 1960s, membership into the credit unions had grown to more than 6 million individuals, and there were more than 10,000 federal credit unions. During this time period, the credit unions adopted a logo that the working class could relate to, the little man with the umbrella. The credit unions were trying to show that they were there during the hardships the little man had to face, hard times, sickness, and financial distress. According to the CU History blogspot, this logo has been retired for many years, but you can still see a print of the little man with the umbrella at some of the local institutions in our area. This logo pretty much still stands for what a credit union stands for. The credit unions are there to have your back and be there during rough times. In the 1970s, the Credit Union Administration, or NCUA, was formed as an independent federal agency. At this time, Congress also created the National Credit Union Share Insurance Fund, or NCUSIF, to protect our members' deposits with the credit union. If you're not familiar with a credit union, banks are insured by the FDIC, where the credit unions are insured by NCUA. As the nation has grown during the years, the credit unions have had to grow with the nation. Credit unions have had to expand their services with the nation's growth. They have had to add such services as share certificates, mortgages. In the last several years, they have come into the technology era. Most credit unions now offer all forms of communications with the credit union, such as electronic banking and mobile banking. Like many businesses, with all the additions and advancements, there does come some fallbacks, and this has happened in the last 5 years or so. Due to a steep drop in the global financial markets triggered by the most severe economic downturn since the Great Depression, this has caused a lot of people to lose their jobs, file bankruptcy, and a lot of funds have had to be foreclosed on. And with these things happening, it started to take a toll on the credit unions, small and large. NCUA decided to be proactive when these things started happening. They worked with Congress, the Federal Reserve, the Department of the Treasury, and other authorities to help safeguard the credit union system. While NCUA was working to make sure the credit unions were sound, some of the largest or corporate credit unions had invested in the troubled mortgage-backed securities, and these loans ended up making 5 of the larger corporate credit unions insolvent. This has caused the credit union to take a big hit. During this time, NCUA stayed in touch with all the credit unions, and any decisions that were made were done by consensus. I ended up getting to be party to some of these meetings, and I got to see firsthand how NCUA was looking out for the little man. The credit unions and NCUA agreed to not have any government intervention. One reason that this was decided on was that credit unions wanted to stay member-owned, and if the government became involved, this would stop. It was voted on and passed that credit unions would help each other out of the binds that they'd found themselves in. Stabilization fund had been established, and each credit union helps pay back the different amounts over the years. Each year, credit unions are given an idea of what their portion of stabilization is to be for the year, and it's paid once a year. Credit unions have survived over 100 years, and they appear to be going strong. Through history, they have shown that they will stand up for the little guy and for other credit unions. Even in today's society, credit unions are still looking out for the little man. A popular saying in the credit unions is the member comes first. Part of the reason I enjoy my job is this. It seems that most of the time, credit union employees may seem like they're bending over backwards to help the members. And at the end of the day, there is a lot of work, but you do feel good about yourself because you're able to help others.